All right, I'll call you Khabs. You know, does Khabs work?
Kgabo works. Yeah, you know what? From that previous episode, my petty community was up in arms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, my name, when people see my name and they see the B-O at the end, they say Kgabo.
Uh-huh.
But it's Kgabo.
Kgabo.
So in Pedi you say Kgabo, not Kgabo.
Kgabo.
Not Vo.
Kgabo.
Vo. Okay, you'll get there.
Yo, anyway, all right. Khabs. I've never actually called you Khabs, eh?
No, you haven't. There's one that you call me, but we're not doing that on camera.
What? Anyway, I don't know what that is. Bro, I think an important chat is around pregnancy. I think there's lots that we can share about with regards to that. Maybe some of our stories. I mean, both of us have got 4 kids, so that's... Oh, you got twins. So
Twins, so it's not 8 pregnancies, it's 7.
Yes, I guess between the two of us.
That's
so I'm
lot.
sure we've got some stories there and probably some things we could share that can help some gents out there.
That's a lot of maternity leave. That's a lot of birth.
It's a lot of action,
a lot of
bro.
humans.
Yes, a lot of action.
It's a lot of action.
A lot of action.
It's good action.
Yeah.
It's good action.
So, okay, maybe let me share how we can take turns in sharing kind of some stories around pregnancy. So, when you found out that you're pregnant, kind of what that was like. Was it planned? Was it, all those kind of things around? Does it get simpler or easier the more kids that you have? Those kind of things. And so I'll because I was the first, I guess, to have a kid.
Yes.
So our plan was to start having kids after about 2 years of marriage. Mm-hmm. I think we just decided, man, we want to spend like probably 2 years hanging out and just getting to know each other before we actually started having kids.
And you did that.
And almost did that.
Okay.
So we actually got pregnant in our second year and had our firstborn just after 2 years. So she was born, as we celebrated kind of our 2 year.
How old were you?
How old was I?
Yeah,
I was 29.
Okay.
Yeah, I got married at 27, so it was 29.
I'll share my part right there.
Yeah. So anyway, I so that was the plan, and so in the middle of it, we had some changes in contraceptive because my wife just wasn't reacting well to certain contraceptives and things like that, and so there was a point where we'd kind of just taken a pause, and I think we were switching contraceptives or something like that. And in the midst of that, we got pregnant.
In between in the changes or something.
Yeah, it was. I think it was somewhere there.
Okay.
And so here's how I found out that we were pregnant. Right, I was napping on the couch. Just minding my own business. Napping like a full-on nap. And I get woken up like this. And like you waking up from a nap,
Just by the way, bro, you nap, hey?
Bro.
Like, you sleep, bro.
I used to.
Yeah.
Now, other people do that, but let's not...
Okay.
Let's not get
another day.
I used to.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I get woken up, bro, like this. Like literally like this. And I'm, in a daze, and I'm told I'm pregnant. Bro! So you can imagine. Bro. So no, like, hey, let's sit down, let's have a conversation. Hey, I've got news.
That time is the first time.
Bro, it's the first time it wasn't the plan. So I get woken up, I'm pregnant. So my head is spinning. And I remember going out and first they asked, what? Like, are you serious? Is it real? Are you? I said, no, I'm pregnant. And I think she showed me the pregnancy test. I says, yeah, no, I'm pregnant. And so I just remember kind of walking out and going to the garden and just walking back and forth in the garden.
First reaction, were you like scared, happy, what?
I was shocked.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't scared. It wasn't happy. It wasn't, it was just, okay, my first thought, what does this mean? Right? And then already then I'm thinking numbers. That was my first thing. Okay, yes. Yeah. What does it mean? What does this mean for us? And a big part of that, what does it mean, is what does it mean financially? It was, okay, what do we need to put in place to make this thing happen? What do we need to change? What do how much is this going to cost? What car, do we have to change? This is all in my head, like 5 minutes after hearing, hey, I'm pregnant and that kind of thing. And so that was my experience. It was a bit of probably a bit of a panic.
Sure.
But it was definitely, first thing was just calculating, okay, what needs to be done for this to come right.
And how was Unati after that? Like, did you guys have a whole, okay, let's come together, hug, it's our first kid, yeah, kumbaya, we did it?
Yeah, no. So here's the thing, because, and I think this is an important lesson to learn, I think, in sharing the news, especially if it's unexpected or unplanned. Let me put it that way. Is for us guys, when we think of things like that, we always think of it very, very much in a kind of pragmatic way, like what needs to be done. Because we think about provision, we think about protection, we think about what will enable our families to kind of flourish. That's the first thing. We don't think about the emotions of it, or the mushy part to the sentimental aspect of it. Not that it's not present within us, but we very much go to the practical side of things, of what needs to be done. And so I guess that's how I responded, Whereas on the other side, my wife was disappointed with my response.
Yeah.
Because she expected me to be like, oh baby, I'm so proud of you, can't wait, excited, we're gonna be parents, all that stuff. I'm thinking, that wasn't, and it's not that I wasn't excited.
Yes.
But for me, like, the man thing kind of just kicked in instinctively.
Yeah.
And so that's how I responded and reacted. So I would say, if it's in the space where it's unplanned, and particularly, well, it's usually the ladies that share the news. But like, set it up, man. Like yeah, like set it up in that, sit your man down, maybe say something so that when you share the news, it's not as much of a shock. But also, if you see a guy responding, with a bit of shock, it's not that he's not, in the moment. Yes. He's not, celebrating what's happening. Yeah. It's just like, as dudes, man, this thing just kicks in. Yeah. And then also, I guess for dudes out there, is when you're hearing, the news, I guess, try also think of the emotional and sentimental part of it. Maybe try not to just get sucked into the thinking about it. Look, pragmatically.
Like our first pregnancy was. I think it was interesting because at the time we decided that we're not we're not going to use, my wife, but we decided that we're not going to use contraceptives. And for our own personal reasons, right? And so our firstborn, I mean, like I call him my honeymoon baby. My wife is like very like, no, he actually wasn't. It was like 2 or 3 months later. But I was like, nah, you know, because shortly after we got married, she was pregnant. So we had probably like 10 to 11 months between our wedding and being parents.
Okay.
And so, and when I can't actually really remember the day when she tested, but I remember where I was in my life at the time, because I had literally just started my business. I had literally just like finished off an internship somewhere and left it to go start my own business. And at the time I actually wasn't scared, because I think the decision at the time to not use contraceptives was off of the back of a faith decision that we would be covered, regardless of where we were in our circumstances or in our life at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, it worked out, but I think that flight or fight mode that you're talking about, as a guy, that you think like cash and you think money and you think resources, you think, oh, is the house ready to take this in? It does happen. Like, I know that at number 4, that was definitely where I was.
Yeah.
No, actually, not at number 4, at number 2 and 3, because I had twins.
Okay.
That's when it really shocked the living daylights out of me, because, very fun story, is the day she tested pregnant. We're like, okay, cool. We had one car, we had a hatchback at the time, and we're like, okay, 2 kids, okay, we can still make this happen. Then we go for a scan, and then doctor's there on that whatever gram, doing the thing. She's quiet, suspense is building. I'm like, okay, yeah, just tell us the baby's fine. Then she says, oh, I see there are twins here. Kid you not, bro. I was like, don't lie to me. I said to her, do not lie to me. She's like, then she cranks up the volume. She cranks up the volume on the thing to hear the heartbeat. She's like, well, you don't believe me. Goo goo, goo goo, goo goo. Goes to the other side. Goo goo, goo goo. Bro, I think like everything in me just sank. And that fight or flight mode kicked in to a different level. So this is now 2 years into now starting my business. Doing okay-ish. But not at 3 kids okay. Because now I'm quantifying everything. I'm measuring now.
I guess you're planning, it's 1, and then it's 2, and then,
so
like, you can warm up.
So I'm like, warm up, build with me. Let me like progress in life with certain things. Because we were also still at that no contraceptive part.
Yes.
But now my faith decision is like,
yes,
it's shaky. I mean, I still have the faith, but it's like, whoa. I just jumped from 1 to 3 in 2 years of marriage. And I'm like, everything I started calculating now. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment, 5 floors up. We have a hatchback. I'm still starting my business. Like, there's gonna be 3 kids in a car. My car's not gonna work. Now, like, I'm like, everything, and now my reaction, like what you said, is not on the amazing, we're having twins. I'm just like, what the hell? But now, this is the thing that I guess I feel like affirmed my decision, or our decision at the time, was, and this is a bit of a backstory to my life, because I guess as people watch our episodes, they'll get to know us, is that as we left the clinic and we were driving back home and we're just in silence because we were both just like trying to take it in. I then get a call. And this is, I had a short stint at the time of communication or a photography gig with Jay something at the time. And he called me and said, hey bro, we want you to be Mikasa's official photographer. And this was literally just after we left the clinic. And that for me flipped it just affirmed again that our faith was honored in that. And I mean, like, it was a very emotional day, but I mean, like, that story, I'll never forget that day, because it feels like even when we jump from 1 to 3 to 4, as much as it's real and the practicality of finances and home and resources are there, I think for us, the faith still pushed us through. Because the question is always like, dude, like, why didn't you just use condoms? Like, were you guys bored? Why didn't you guys whatever? You guys, and I'm like, this was our decision.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to do. And along the way, we're still good. So, I mean, that actually just took me back. It was a bit emotional.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I guess, for you guys, you went into marriage without the whole contraceptive thing. And so the possibility of having a child was, it was always there. It was just like, hey, you know what, we are rolling free here any moment. We are freestyling here any moment,
Bro,
so.
and even just to say, our parents were just like, guys, I think after the twins, I remember both our moms were like, guys, just what are you doing? What is going on?
Yeah.
Because they were scared. What? Hey, man, do something about this, because, hey, you can't have any more. But anyway,
yeah. It's interesting. I mean, the conversation, we must have a conversation around contraceptive as well, because it is quite a broad one as well. But I guess to each his own, as they say.
Yeah.
But look, I guess probably some people listening and be like, you see now, that's why. You see now, but hey,
the soccer squads.
We have different ways around it, I guess. I think for me, another pregnancy thing. So our middle 2 kids were planned, so we were we were planning. So the 2 boys. And so when we got pregnant with our 4th, we were in a place of still debating whether or not we wanted to have a child on our own, or naturally, or actually to adopt.
Yes, I remember you.
Yeah. So we were in that phase of just going back and forth of, hey, what should we do, right? And then, so Father's Day comes around, because my wife is a G, she loves these surprise vibes, right?
Oh, no, bro.
Father's Day comes around, kids are singing for me or whatever, giving me presents, and I'm like, oh, Father's Day, what? The loving wife that I have gives me a present as well, wraps it up nicely. I open this thing. What is it? It's a pregnancy test with 2 lines on it. And she goes, Happy Father's Day. So do you guys see what I'm dealing with here in this household of mine?
Well, that is a problem.
Bruh.
Wow.
But this time, again, you know, this wonderful wife that the Lord has blessed me with is busy now. She's recording as well, right? Because she wants to see my reaction.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And, you know, my reaction, I was shocked. I was like, huh? What? Pregnant?
And the kids are there.
What? Am I? Huh? Is this real? Are you serious? Are you? And then I did learn from the last time, though.
Video?
I had it, she's got it somewhere. But anyway, there was that initial shock, obviously, but then I remembered, okay, look, I need to, you know, and I think obviously because we'd had a few kids already,
sure,
it wasn't the same as it was for our first.
I get you.
But this woman that the Lord gave me.
That is amazing. What a legend.
You know? So that was how I found out about number 4.
Number 4. My God. Like, that one was, I think, our most emotional one for the both of us. And I think that we have no regrets with any decision that we made. But obviously every decision has implications, as well as just the way you want. Your decisions have implications and they have benefits, and it's the reasons why you value what you value. For us, even with everything that I just said, our last born daughter, gem of my heart. I love all my kids. Mika just sometimes has me wrapped around her finger. But, you know, at the time, like, bro, it was, well, what was happening around then? What I remember was just my wife in tears. And just, she wasn't in tears because she didn't want the pregnancy. She was in tears because she wasn't happy. She wasn't excited about it. She was shocked. It caught her off guard. It caught me off guard, but it was just the expectation is that sometimes you think you need to be excited because it's your baby. Like, it's a baby. But so much happens in your life that you feel like, okay, like, it would be great to, you know, catch a breather. But by the way, my wife wants a soccer squad. I must just still make a disclaimer here that, like, even though we're at number 4, she's still trying to gun for another one. And I'm like, homie, no. But anyway, like, and I was also, that one was the toughest one for me because business was great. Career-wise, I was doing better. Like, health-wise, I was okay. But just, we were in such a small space, in such a small house, and like, now we're like, yes, we had another car, things were working out practically, but now we're thinking, jeepers, like, we're gonna need a house at some point. Like, now we are a family of 6. With a helper, we are 7 people in the house. And now we have 4, at some point we had 4 kids under 4 or 4 kids under 5. And it was 7 of us in the house. But just going back to the time of the pregnancy, because we'll talk about birth in another one, I think. It would be cool to actually talk about what happened, because I think there's a bank of stories for that one. But just like that pregnancy was very sobering. Our decision and our, how do I say, like our agreement and just where we were decision wise is very different from 1.
Yes.
So 1 to 4, I think we are on a very different page now in what we want and our decisions going forward. And so like, and we're both satisfied in as much as she might want more and I'm cool, but we're satisfied, we're content with no regrets and we're happy. But man, that was super sobering. Like 4 kids, and mind you, because I asked you how old you were with your pregnancy. Like you said, you were 29, your first one.
Yeah, first one was 29.
I was 23. No, I was 24 with our first kid. My wife was 23. And then on my 25th, twins.
Sure.
My 27th, if not 26th, 27th, I think. 27th.
Did you fourth?
Fourth. So at 27, I had 4 kids.
Yeah.
Under 4. And that was like, my dog, what are you doing? Like, as much as I knew what I decided and what I value, it just becomes that more real. The numbers are just that much more real. But I'm still, my faith is still there. Yeah. We're still good. We're still here. Like,
it's still like rocking. We're still gonna play.
You know what I'm saying? The forefathers are still here.
Roulette with this, you know, with this. We're still just gonna let it roll. But you say that you're cool now with 4, basically. And I must say, I'm also very cool with four kids. Although, like, if we had to get pregnant again, I would be okay with it simply because we've got the right environment for kids. So because we're in marriage and there's, 2 of us, it's a loving home, loving family, all those things, so I wouldn't like lose my mind.
Sure.
But I'm happy with 4 kids. And tell you why how I realized that I was happy with 4 kids is when we had a pregnancy scare. I think sometime last year where we thought maybe we're pregnant again. And I remember like when my wife said, hey, she thinks we could be pregnant, for whatever reason. And I think her cycle was off, and so she thought, hey, maybe I'm pregnant, and so I remember how I responded just in that day, thinking like I was like, sure. I was like, okay, it's okay. We could be pregnant, but I was just like, it just felt like it was heavy. It just felt like, this isn't what I necessarily wanted. Although I was like, I can accept it and we'll be okay. But it was just like, it just felt a bit stressful. And that's where I realized that, okay, I was actually, and then we found out that we're not pregnant. And then from then I realized actually that I was happy with 4.
I had the exact same experience, bro. So exactly the same scare.
Yeah. So that's what for me was like, okay, no, Ngishap land. Actually 4 is good. I'm satisfied with 4. And then after that, I actually decided I started keeping my my wife's cycle, keeping track of my wife's cycle. So now I do. I keep it. I'm the one that keeps track.
I'm gonna take that note. And I'm gonna probably do that.
And so that for me gives me peace of mind.
Yes.
Just knowing that I know what's happening when. I know more about her cycle than she knows.
And
exactly. So I would encourage gents to do that as well. It will help minimize some of those scares. Yeah, but obviously, when God decides. So you can always put one. You can always put one past the keeper. Yeah. So, but at least that there's a great app I use for that. It's called Flow.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Flow.
Yeah, and I guess there's lots of other apps. But anyway, that's something for me that it just helps keep track of what's going on.
Dude, on the flip side of this is the birth stories, because I think a lot of guys have so many stories. Between us, 7 births.
Yeah.
I think is definitely a hook for another episode.
Yeah. No, that's a real. I think that will need probably 2 or 3 different chats, because that is real. Yeah, we'll chat about that.
Yeah.
Guys, we will park it there for this one. Lots more to share, lots more stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But anyway, please like, subscribe on all platforms, the Forefathers FC. Share the video with people that you think could benefit from some of this. Otherwise, we will catch you next time. Much love from the
Right.